tasters, welcome to another episode of Tastiness, where we're going to be cooking up something sweet again, and it's going to be using all real sugar, so I'm so excited. We're going to be using brown sugar, and it's one of my favorite desserts. I saw this on Drizzle Me Skinny's Instagram page, and I said, you know what? Carrot Cake Muffins? That's got to be delicious. So I'm going to be giving it a try today. Of course, we're going to have some carrots in it. And the recipe says use walnuts, but I have pecans in my freezer, so that's what I'm using. Of course, flour, brown sugar, vanilla, nutmeg, applesauce, cinnamon, baking powder, and I believe that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. I noticed that the recipe says we need to spray our muffin tin before we start mixing our ingredients. And I thought to myself, I said, do I have to do that before? Why does the recipe actually say you have to spray the muffin tin before you start mixing? And then I said, well, maybe they want the oil to sit in the tin to get it ready for the baking. So I said, I'm gonna follow the directions today. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray the muffin tin with cooking spray, as the directions say, before I get my mix or batter together. And y'all can tell I like to cook muffins. My muffin tin is well used. Gonna set that to the side, and now I'm gonna begin making my batter. So it says to add 2 eggs, so I have my 2 eggs here. I'm gonna go ahead and crack them and add them for my batter. Grab my recipe here. Then it says after the 2 eggs, I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Next, I'm going to add in 2/3 cups of applesauce. And as you all know, I like to buy these nifty, already prepackaged containers of applesauce. This is 4 ounces here, but it says I need 2/3 cups. So I'm just going to take these containers and pour them into my 3rd cup. And do it twice. That's how I get my 2/3 cup instead of buying applesauce that's not individually wrapped. Oh, I forgot to mention that it says to preheat your oven. So I've already preheated my oven to 350 and then spray the muffin tin. So I did do that. I preheated the oven to 350. I sprayed my muffin tin, and now I'm in the process of mixing my batter. I think it's going to be delicious. How many of you all like carrot cake? I know I love carrot cake. Let me know in the comments. Is that one of your favorite cakes? So now that I have my 2/3 cup of applesauce, next it says I need to mix all of this together, and then I will add in flour, cinnamon, and nutmeg and baking powder. So I'm going to mix this first. Well, I'm going to use a whisk. Then it says to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You got to have vanilla in anything you bake. They typically going to tell you to put some vanilla in there. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon. Whisk that in. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then a teaspoon of the baking powder. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Whisk those together. Now I'm ready for my flour and the main ingredients, the carrots. 1.5 cups of flour. 1.5 cups of flour. Then it says 1.5 cups of shredded carrots. I bought them already shredded, and we're ready to go. Just dump them in. I think this is going to be an awesome substitute for the carrot cake that typically has a lot of calories in it. I think this is going to be a great substitute. Now that I've stirred it up in my mixing bowl, I'm going to add it to my mixer to help chop up the carrots some and mix it a little bit better. Don't be surprised if your batter is thick, because it says your batter is going to be on the thick side. Because I'm looking at this batter like, what? This is too thick. Alright, now that I've mixed that up, I'm going to get my spatula and spoon my batter into my muffin tin. As the direction says, it's a little bit thick, but I'm following along. Hopefully Drizzle Me Skinny knows what she's talking about. Hopefully I won't be disappointed and encouraged to go back to that high calorie carrot cake with that nice creamy cream cheese. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hopefully this will be a great substitute and can curb that taste for carrot cake. The awesome thing about these muffins, you all already know, they are only 2 points. Only 2 points on blue and green on the My WW Weight Watchers plan, which is the plan that we are currently doing with Weight Watchers. It's going to take about 18 minutes to bake. So this is something that would be nice for meal prep. You know I'm always thinking about meal prep. And you can have this for breakfast each and every morning. Got you some vegetables in there. We talked about in our Weight Watchers meeting this morning about having a vegetable with every meal. Well, there you go. You got your carrots for breakfast with your carrot cake muffins. I believe that's about it. Now, if you all notice, I mentioned pecans. And so there is a pecan topping that we are to make to put on the top of these muffins. So I think that's just really going to set it off. It's going to have a tablespoon of brown sugar and I believe a tablespoon, it says chopped walnuts, but I had pecans in my freezer, so that's what we're going to use today. We're using pecans. In fact, I think I've seen carrot cake made with pecans before, so try to evenly distribute it between these muffin tins, these 12 muffin compartments. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of brown sugar, another tablespoon of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of chopped pecans. But I'll need to chop up my pecans, so I'm going to get out that nice dandy chopper that I used last week when I chopped up my vegetables for my classic macaroni salad. It was so delicious this week as I had it for my meal prep with my onion jam turkey burger. It says only a tablespoon. I think that's about enough of our pecans. It says a tablespoon of pecans and a tablespoon of brown sugar. I'm going to get a container to put that in, and then once I put that topping on our muffins, we'll be ready to put them in the oven. Look at this, guys. We have our carrot cake muffins We got our pecan and brown sugar topping on them. And I think we're ready to go. We're ready to pop them in the oven for 18 minutes on 350. While we have our muffins in the oven, tasters, let's talk about our tasting tip for this week. So I was talking with one of my fellow Weight Watchers members, and we were talking about making sacrifices. And there used to be a saying that said, just say no. I believe it was back in the days when drug abuse was becoming a big thing. But that could also be applied to helping you reach your fitness and nutritional goals as well. Sometimes you just gotta say no. And throughout the day, I find myself saying no to certain things. Like I might say no to, I see the pecan pies on the counter that my husband and my son, who are stick figures, they can eat all that, eating. I have to say no to that. I can say no to that pecan pie, but I can say yes to that carrot cake muffin that I have in the oven. So I look at it as I may be saying no to some things, but that gives me the opportunity to say yes to something that may be less caloric. So yes, along this journey, along these 19 years, I've had to just say no. Had to just say no to a lot of things, but the results that I've received as far as being fit and healthy and being able to move far outweigh those little sacrifices that I've had to make on a daily basis. And yes, over 19 years, I still wake up every day and I have to say no to something. I have to just say no each and every day to something. But the rewards from making that commitment, making that sacrifice, wholeheartedly outweigh what you might think is, oh man, I want to eat that pie too today. But guess what? When you're able to fit in that smaller size, or when you just feel so much more confident when you're out and about, you'll say, you know what? I'm glad that I ate that carrot cake muffin instead of that pecan pie they had on the counter. So that tasty tip for today, you gotta just say no, guys. Tasters, you have to just say no sometime. And I say no to something each and every day. So that's our tasty tip for this week. Just say no. Hey tasters, just heard the ding from my oven and we're about ready to take our muffins out. I'm gonna cut my oven off. They've been in the oven on 350 for 18 minutes. Let's take a look. Well, I know they certainly smell good. I smell that nutmeg, the cinnamon, brown sugar. I got a little bit of pecan topping on them. I know this is gonna be delicious. I can't wait to dig in. But first, whenever you bake something, you know it's best to let it cool. So we're gonna let it cool for a few minutes before we give it that tastiness test taste. So we're gonna go ahead and let it cool. One note I wanna make, I said earlier that they were 2 points on blue and green. It's actually 2 points on the blue and purple program and 3 points on the green program. There's 2 points on the blue and purple program, but 3 points on the green program. So we're gonna let them cool for a while and then we'll take our taste test. I'm speechless, y'all. I wish you could smell them. Oh my goodness, I think this is gonna give me my carrot cake fix for sure. Add a little bit of light cool whip to it. What? It's gonna be the jam right here. They smell so good. So good. I'm gonna give it a taste in a minute, but I just want to remind you there are 2 points on blue and purple, 3 points on the green program, on the My WW program. And they look so delicious. They're kind of heavy, they're a little dense, but I know it's gonna be good. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna try this one right here. That's a carrot cake muffin. Drizzle me scared, he did it again. This is a great substitute for a carrot cake when you really just want something sweet. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it ain't carrot cake, but it's a good substitute if you're trying to meet your nutritional goals. You know, we talked about making sacrifices and saying no. You can say no to regular carrot cake, and this will be a great substitute. Now, am I saying you're gonna do that every day? No, you don't have to do that every day. But you can't have carrot cake every day. And on those days you can't have carrot cake. This is a great substitute. With some light Cool Whip, this would be excellent. So, thank you all for joining me on this episode of Tasty Nets. I hope you have subscribed to my channel. Comment and let me know what you think, what type of recipes you want to see. Maybe you want to see some more savory dishes, or maybe you want to see more sweet dishes. Let me know. Let me know what you want to see. Like my channel, share it with friends, and I will see you next week. Have a wonderful week.